I woke up in the hospital feeling weak, dizzy and cold. My mouth was dry. My head was spinning. I tried to move my body, but it felt heavy, like I had bricks inside me. I turned my head slowly and saw a nurse writing something on a clipboard. My stomach had fresh bandages. Pain shot through me when I tried to sit up. Where is Emmanuel? I asked with a dry voice. The nurse stopped writing and looked at me with sad eyes. He's gone. My heart stopped. Gone? I whispered. She nodded. He left early this morning. He said he'll be back. I looked around the room. His bag wasn't there. His jacket was gone. Even the phone charger he used every night was missing. My heart pounded harder than the beeping machine beside me. I tried to remember everything that happened. I remembered the surgery. I remembered saying yes when he cried and begged. I remembered how he kissed my forehead and told me, "Forever starts today." But now forever was gone. Tears rolled down the sides of my face, not because of the pain in my side, but because the man I loved, the man I gave my kidney to, had vanished. My name is Amaka. I'm 26 years old. I work as a receptionist at a hotel in Enugu. Life hasn't always been easy, but I've always had a soft heart. Maybe too soft. That's why when I met Emmanuel, I fell for him fast. Faster than I should have. He walked into the hotel one rainy evening, dripping wet, holding a small brown bag. He asked for a room, but his card was declined. Twice. He looked embarrassed and was about to walk away when I stopped him. "You can sit inside the lobby for now," I said. "At least till the rain stops." He looked at me like I had given him gold. That was the beginning. Over the next few days, he kept coming round, first with small talk, then jokes, then long conversations that stretched into the night. He said he was a software developer, but had lost his job when his startup crashed. He said he was trying to bounce back. "I used to have everything," he said one evening. "Now I don't even have a roof." I didn't know why, but I believed him. Something about his voice felt honest, warm, safe. We started dating 2 weeks later. I knew what people would say. Too fast, too soon. But when Emmanuel held my hand and said, "You make me feel like a man again," I melted. Emmanuel moved into my small one-room apartment. I cooked for him, packed his lunch when he got a small online gig, and even gave him some of my savings to buy a new laptop. He was sweet, attentive, and full of dreams. He told me stories about his childhood, about how he wanted to build his own company again. He would say, "One day we'll be rich and I'll take you to Dubai." He made me feel seen, loved, wanted. He didn't just say, "I love you." He said, "We're forever." That word, forever, it echoed in my heart like a promise sealed with fire. Then one day, he came home with red eyes. His hands were shaking. "What's wrong?" I asked. "I got tested today," he said slowly. I have a kidney problem. One of my kidneys is badly damaged. The doctor said I need a transplant." I froze. "What?" He nodded. "It's not urgent yet, but I have to prepare. I need a donor." I didn't know what to say. "Don't worry," he added quickly. "I'm not asking you to do anything. I just needed to tell you." But that was the first seed. Days passed. He started coughing more. He got tired easily. He lost weight. Then, one night while we were watching TV, he turned to me and said, "If something happened to me, would you still love me?" I held his hand tightly. "Don't say that." One night, he came back from the hospital with a printed paper in his hand. "I've been tested again," he said. "It's getting worse." I tried to stay calm. Then he dropped the bomb. "They checked your blood type too." "We're a match, Amaka." My heart jumped. He continued, "I didn't ask them to, I swear, but the nurse remembered seeing you with me, and they checked. Amaka, you can save my life." My hands started shaking. I don't No, I said. Tears filled his eyes. I don't want to die, babe. I want to live. With you. Marry you. Build everything we dreamed of. I swear, if you do this for me, I'll never forget it. You'll always be my queen. Forever again. He got down on one knee that night. No ring. Just a rose he picked from outside. And a promise. I'll love you till I die, he said. I said yes. The hospital felt cold on the morning of the surgery. Emmanuel held my hand tightly. You're my angel, he whispered. I nodded, trying to be strong. I love you, he said again just before they rolled me in. That was the last thing I heard before sleep took me. Now here I was, awake, alone, my body weak, my heart empty. The nurse touched my shoulder gently. I'm sorry, dear. He left with all his things. Even told the doctor he'd return with payment, but he's not answering calls anymore. My world collapsed. I tried to sit up, but my side burned like fire. The nurse held me down gently. Rest, Amaka. We'll figure it out. But how do you rest when the man you loved, the man who said forever, took a part of your body and disappeared? The next morning, I lay still on the hospital bed, staring at the white ceiling. The nurses came and went, but I barely moved. My chest felt heavy. My head was pounding with a question that refused to leave. Why would he do this to me? I wasn't even crying anymore. I had cried all my tears the night before. Now there was only silence in my heart, deep, painful silence. The doctor walked in with a gentle smile. Good morning, Amaka, he said softly. How are you feeling? I wanted to say empty. I wanted to scream, but I just nodded. He sat down beside me. The surgery was successful. You're healing well. But we need to talk about something else. My throat tightened. He looked me in the eyes. Emmanuel left without settling the rest of the bill. I blinked, but I thought, he said. I know, the doctor said quickly. He told us he'd handle everything. He even smiled at the nurse and said, I'll be back in 1 hour. That was 3 days ago. My mouth went dry. Do you have anyone we can call? He asked. Family? A close friend? I shook my head slowly. My parents were both gone. I had no siblings, and my closest friend, Vera, had warned me before. Be careful with that guy, she had said months ago. There's something off about him. I didn't listen. Now here I was, alone, stitched up, and left behind. The first time Vera met Emmanuel, she wasn't impressed. He's too smooth, she whispered to me after dinner one night. His stories sound too sweet, too perfect. I had laughed at her. You're just jealous. But I remembered how Emmanuel dodged certain questions, like where exactly he used to work, or why none of his family ever called or visited. He always had a ready excuse. My mum's in the village and doesn't like phones. My uncle is a wicked man. We don't talk. My last company was foreign. You won't know it. Each lie was wrapped in sugar. But sugar still burns when you swallow too much. By the 5th day, I forced myself out of the hospital bed. I borrowed a nurse's phone and called Emmanuel's number again. Still switched off. I tried all his social media accounts. Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter. All gone. Deleted. Like he never existed. I knew then. This was not a mistake. This was a plan. My hands shook, my knees felt weak, but I had one last hope. His friend, Tony. Tony was the only person Emmanuel ever introduced me to. He called him his brother from the streets. They used to meet at a small bar down the road from our apartment. I took a cab there. The bar owner remembered me. Oh, fine girl. That guy. Your guy. He never came back. Oh, he said. Last time I saw him, he was with 2 other men. They looked different. Business guys. Tony, I asked quickly. Do you know where I can find him? He nodded. Tony, he dey always hang around Junction Street. You fit check there. Hope lit up in my chest, just a little. Junction Street wasn't far, but it was noisy, dusty, and filled with people who moved too fast to care. I asked around. 2 men recognized Tony's name. Light-skinned guy with big mouth, one asked. He dey owe me money, Seth. Another pointed toward a mechanic shed. Try there, he used to smoke with them. I found the shed and Tony. He was sitting on a bench, smoking, with loud music playing from a speaker. His eyes widened when he saw me. Amaka, he said, surprised. I walked straight up to him. Where is Emmanuel? He froze. I don't know, he said after a pause. I haven't seen him in weeks. I stared into his eyes. Please don't lie to me. Tony looked away, then stood up. He told me he was traveling. That's all I know. Traveling where? He shrugged. He didn't say. He just said, my job is done. I need to disappear. My job is done. The words stabbed my chest. You knew what he was planning? I whispered. Tony swallowed hard. I didn't know everything, I swear. He just said he found a way to get out of this broke life. That some woman was going to bless him. I stepped back, tears filling my eyes. That woman was me. Tony's face changed. Wait, he took something from you. I nodded. My kidney. Tony sat down slowly, silent. Amaka, he said slowly. Do you know how many names Emmanuel has used in the last 2 years? My heart stopped. What do you mean? He's not just Emmanuel. Sometimes he's Ikechukwu. Sometimes he's Michael. He changes names depending on the city. I felt like vomiting. He once lived in Asaba, then Warri, then Port Harcourt. He disappears, starts over, finds a new girl. It's his pattern. And you never told anyone? He looked away. I tried, once, but nobody believed me. A scream was rising in my chest. I pushed it down. I had to get out of there. That night, back in my empty apartment, I sat on the floor, hugging my knees. Then my phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. Hi, Amaka. If you want the truth, come alone to room 7, Eastern View Hotel, by 9 p.m. Don't bring anyone. I'll only speak once. My hands began to shake. Was it him? Or someone else? I looked at the time. 8:23 p.m. I had 37 minutes to decide. I stood outside Eastern View Hotel at exactly 8:59 p.m. The air was thick. My hands were sweating, my heart was pounding like someone was beating a drum inside my chest. I kept looking around, half expecting to see Emmanuel's face in the shadows, half wishing he wouldn't be there. The building looked quiet. Too quiet. The paint was peeling. One flickering bulb lit the narrow corridor inside. A security man sat at the entrance, dozing off with a toothpick in his mouth. I walked past him. He didn't even raise his head. Room 7 was upstairs. Each step on the staircase creaked under my feet. What if this is a trap? What if I don't come out alive? But I had to know. I needed answers more than I needed sleep, more than I needed safety. I stood before room 7. My hand trembled as I reached for the handle. It wasn't locked. I pushed the door open. The room was dark except for one dim lamp by the window, and there he was, sitting on a chair, legs crossed, looking down at a phone. But it wasn't Emmanuel, it was a stranger. He was tall, dark-skinned, and wore a plain black t-shirt. He looked about 40, calm, serious eyes. He didn't look up right away. You came, he finally said. Who are you? I asked, voice shaking. He stood and pointed to the only other chair in the room. Sit? I only have 5 minutes. I didn't sit. Where is Emmanuel? I demanded. He looked at me. Gone. Just like I told you in the message. But why did you ask me to come here? Who are you? He pulled out a small file and dropped it on the table between us. Because I need you to know the truth. You're not the only one. I stared at the file. Slowly, I picked it up and opened it. Inside were 3 photographs. All women. Each one had her name written in blue pen. Chioma, Port Harcourt, Ijoma, Asaba, Temi Alogos. All of them had scars across their stomachs, just like mine. My knees buckled. I sat down without realizing it. "What is this?" I whispered. "He did the same thing to all of them," the man said. "Promised love, gained trust, took their kidneys, disappeared." Tears flooded my eyes. "He's not just a con artist," he continued. "He's part of a black market organ ring." My breath caught in my throat. "What?" The man nodded. "He scouts women with no family, no strong support, makes them fall in love, then vanishes with the help of fake identities and dirty doctors. The hospitals never suspect much. Sometimes he even bribes a staff member to help process the surgery. Fast." I couldn't speak. "He's been doing this for almost 4 years. We've been trying to catch him, but he's slippery. We thought he was gone until we heard about you." I blinked. "Who are you?" The man pulled out a card and placed it on the table. "Nigerian Private Intelligence Unit, Special Crimes Division. I've been following him since Port Harcourt. I was late then. I don't want to be late again." My eyes were still stuck on the photos. "Really said he loved me," I whispered. "He cried, he begged, he kissed me, and said we'd build a future." The man's voice softened. "That's how he works. He studies each woman carefully, knows what to say, what to promise." I felt like I was falling into a dark hole. "Why are you telling me all this?" I asked. "Because," he said, "you're the only one who's ever gotten this close and still had the strength to come looking." Dear wonderful viewers, if you are enjoying this story, don't forget to give a thumbs up and tell us where you are watching from. If this is your first time, then you need to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our new story. Now let's get back to our story. "What do you want from me?" I asked. He leaned forward. "Help us catch him." My eyes widened. "Me?" "Yes, we've tracked a recent bank withdrawal to Orca, small town not too far. He used an ATM camera caught with facial recognition. We believe he's planning another run." "But I'm not a spy," I whispered. "I'm just broken." "You're also smart," he replied, "and he trusts you more than he's trusted anyone. If you reach out, if you act like you want him back, you might bite." I stood up. "That's crazy." He stood too. "So is what he did to you." I shook my head. "I'm not ready." He handed me a card. "When you are, call me. But don't take too long. The next girl may not survive." I went home that night in silence. No words, no tears, just the soft ache of betrayal sitting quietly in my chest. I lay in bed, thinking of all the things Emmanuel had said. How many were lies? All of them? Or just the sweet ones? Then my phone buzzed. A message. "I miss you. I'm sorry for everything. If I explain, will you listen?" It was from him. The name on the screen. Emmanuel, my heart jumped into my throat. He was alive, watching, still playing. I stared at the message on my phone for nearly 30 minutes. "I miss you. I'm sorry for everything. If I explain, will you listen?" His words were soft, careful, full of guilt and sweet poison. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone against the wall. I wanted to block him forever. But instead, I typed back. "Where are you?" No answer. Seconds passed, then minutes. Then my phone rang. Unknown caller. I picked up. "Hello?" Silence for 1 second, then 2, then his voice. Low, deep, like it always was, broke through the line. "Amaka, I didn't think you'd reply." I sat down slowly. "Why did you run?" He sighed. "I panicked. After the surgery, everything happened so fast. I felt like I didn't deserve you. You didn't, I said coldly. He went quiet again. I didn't mean to hurt you, he said, but I had no choice. I almost laughed. No choice. You took my kidney, Emmanuel. You vanished like a thief in the night. You left me to pay hospital bills, to bleed alone. I know, he said, voice shaking. I know what I did was wrong. But I swear, I was trying to fix things. I needed to leave for a while. But I'm back now. For you. I felt rage bubbling in my chest. For me, or for my second kidney. He didn't respond. I continued, Do you even love me? He answered quickly, Yes, I swear, Amaka. I've never stopped. Then why did you lie? His voice cracked. Because I'm not who you think I am. I've done terrible things, but with you I felt something real. That's why I'm trying to come clean. I want to change. For real. A deep silence filled the air. Then he said, Please, let me see you, just one time. I'll tell you everything. I didn't respond right away. My heart was fighting my brain. My scars screamed no, but my heart, foolish and fragile, whispered, maybe. So I did the worst thing I could have done. I agreed. Tomorrow, I said, my voice trembling. 12 noon, meet me at Peace Garden Restaurant. He paused. You'll really come? Yes. He exhaled like a man saved from death. Okay, I'll be there. I ended the call and stared at the wall for what felt like an hour. Then I picked up the private investigator's card and called. He answered on the first ring. He's back, I said. Where? He asked. I told him. He was silent for a moment. Then, do not go alone. We met that night in a parking lot behind an old church. The agent, his name was Inspector Dare, wore a baseball cap and dark hoodie. You did well, he said. Tomorrow we close the chapter. Will I be safe? I asked. Yes, I'll have eyes everywhere. We went over the plan. I would sit at the restaurant. They would be watching from 3 angles, inside, outside, and across the street. Emmanuel would walk into a trap. Easy. Clean. Or so we thought. The next day I wore a simple dress, no makeup, just my scar and a straight face. Peace Garden Restaurant was almost empty. I chose the seat by the window. 12:00 p.m. I waited. 12:10, still no sign. 12:15, my palms were sweaty. Then he walked in. Same face, same smile, but he looked thinner. His beard was rough. His eyes looked tired, but still sharp, dangerous. He walked toward me, slowly, like someone walking toward a dream. I looked straight at him, no emotion. Amaka, he whispered. I didn't reply. He sat. He looked at me. You're still beautiful, he said. Talk, I said flatly. He took a deep breath. You deserve to know everything. He began to speak. He told me how he was recruited by a foreign man in Lagos 2 years ago, how they picked men like him, smart, charming, good-looking, to seduce women, gain trust, and disappear after surgery. It started small, he said. They paid me to recruit someone once, just to get a match. Then I started doing it myself. He looked down. Until I met you. He looked up, eyes red. I wasn't supposed to stay, but you were different. I wanted to believe him, but something wasn't right. Where's the money they gave you? I asked. He didn't answer. Where's the fake passport you used? Still silence. Why are you really here, Emmanuel? Then he looked at me and smiled. A cold, crooked smile. I froze. I should have left when I had the chance, he said quietly. But I had to see you again. One last time. I slowly reached under the table to press the hidden panic button Inspector Dare gave me. But Emmanuel leaned closer and whispered, "Don't bother. I knew they'd be watching. I came early. I saw them." My blood turned to ice. He leaned back and stood. "I'm not the only one watching, Amaka. You think this is over? This is just the beginning." He dropped something on the table. A photograph. A picture of Vera, my best friend. Bound, crying. My heart stopped. "No games now," he said. "You want her alive? Come alone, tonight." Then he walked away. And this time I couldn't move. The moment Emmanuel walked out of Peace Garden, the world around me disappeared. I couldn't hear the clatter of spoons. I couldn't see the waitress walking past. All I saw was Vera's terrified face. Bound, crying, in a photograph dropped like trash on my table. My breath caught in my throat. My body froze. Inspector Dare ran in seconds later, his team behind him. "Where is he?" he barked. I just held out the photo. He took it, studied it, and cursed. "He's moved to threats now," he said. "He's panicking." "No," I whispered. "He's not panicking. He's planning." We rushed back to Dare's black SUV. His team worked fast, checking Emmanuel's last phone location, traffic cameras, ATM logs, all while I sat in the back seat, trembling. "He said tonight," I whispered. "He wants me to come alone." "Not happening," Dare snapped. "But he'll kill her if I don't." Dare paused, then said, "We'll follow, from far. He won't see us, but you'll wear a mic, hidden. If he tries anything, we move in." I nodded slowly. I had no choice. Vera had always been there for me. I couldn't let Emmanuel destroy another life. He already took my kidney. He wouldn't take my best friend too. The message came at 8:03 p.m. Old slaughterhouse by Garki Bridge. Come alone, no police. 9 p.m. The location was perfect for murder. But I texted back one word, "Okay." At 8:55 p.m., I walked into the darkness. A cold wind blew through the abandoned building. Broken windows, blood-stained walls, old rusted tools hanging like forgotten ghosts. Amaka, he stepped out from behind a pillar, holding a flashlight and a knife. And behind him, tied to a chair, gagged and sobbing, was Vera. Alive, barely. "Let her go," I said. He smiled. "You really came?" "I'm not scared of you anymore," I said, stepping forward, but he raised the knife. "Don't, not yet." "Why are you doing this?" I asked. He shook his head. "You don't get it. I'm not the monster. Life is. People like me don't have a choice. You had love, you had peace, I had nothing." "You had me," I shouted. "And you threw it away?" His eyes flinched. For a second I saw something. Regret? Pain? Or just acting? He pointed the knife at Vera. "You choose. Her life or yours. One of you walks out." My hands shook. He was serious. I closed my eyes and whispered, "Take me." He froze. "What?" "Take me," I repeated. "Let her go. I'm the one you want." A silence. Then a loud click. Red lights flashed through the broken glass. Voices shouted. Boots stormed in. Before Emmanuel could run, Dare's team surrounded him. "Drop it!" they yelled. He turned to me, furious. "You lied!" But Dare was already on him, pinning him to the wall. I ran to Vera. She was crying, shaking. "I'm here," I whispered, untying her ropes. "You're safe." She couldn't speak. She just held me. Dare came over, dragging Emmanuel behind him in handcuffs. "You'll never see me again," he hissed at me. I stared him in the eye. Good. 1 week later, I sat beside Vera's hospital bed. She was healing. Slowly, but she was smiling again. Dare called that evening. Dable found his accounts. Offshore, every transaction tracked. The case is locked. He's going away for a long time. I said thank you, but I still felt broken. Until Vera took my hand and whispered, "You were brave, Amaka. You didn't just survive. You fought back. That night I returned home. A brown envelope waited at my doorstep. No name, no stamp. Inside, a short letter. You were the only one I ever loved, but I was too broken to keep you. I hope one day you'll forgive me. A manual. Below it, a photo, the same one of us smiling on the beach, the day before the surgery. I stared at it for a long time. Then, quietly, I set it on fire. I gave him my kidney, he gave me a scar, but I took back my soul. And that was the part he couldn't steal. Dear beautiful viewers, I hope you enjoyed this story. Tell us your take from this story in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe, like and share for more wonderful stories. Till next time, bye for now.